Good day, everyone. This is a continuation of Unit 4, the teacher as school culture catalyst, lesson C and D, changing school culture and organizational climate of schools. Changing school culture. But before that, let's first define what is school culture. According to Deal and Peterson in 2016, school culture refers to the shared values, beliefs, norms, traditions, symbols, and practices that shape the social and academic environment within a school. It encompasses the attitudes, behaviors, and expectations of students, teachers, administrators, and other stakeholders, and influences the overall educational experience, climate, and outcomes within the school. School culture can be positive or negative or toxic. Positive school culture fosters a supportive relationships, collaboration, and a sense of belonging for all members of the school community, while negative or toxic school culture is where toxic behaviors, low morale, and inequality are prevalent. Why change school culture? A positive school culture is key to student success, while negative or toxic school culture can directly hinder success. Changing school culture is essential to create a more effective learning environment. According to Shine in 2004, it is critical that leaders recognize that changing culture doesn't occur overnight. It is a process, and he offers a number of specific suggestions about how this process can be systematically implemented. Before we proceed to his suggestions, let's first identify who are those leaders that Shine are referring to. So, those are the people who have the ability to influence and shape the culture of the school. He is primarily speaking about those in positions of influence, principals, school administrators, and other educational leaders who are responsible for recognizing, guiding, and shaping the culture of a school. According to him, here's what leaders can do. First is to recognize the need to use an inclusive process for planning any change. Leaders should involve all relevant stakeholders, teachers, staff, students, and parents, in planning process for any change. This ensures that everyone has a voice, feels valued, and is more likely to embrace the change. Next is to provide opportunity for teachers to talk about the change and discuss the implications for their works. Teachers should have regular opportunities to discuss the change and how it will affect their daily practices. This helps them understand the impact on their work and give them a chance to raise concerns, ask questions, and feel supported during the transition. Next is be intentional in how you talk with people and how you interact. Use each encounter as an opportunity to model the behaviors you desire. Leaders should be mindful of how they communicate and interact with others. Each conversation should be seen as an opportunity to model the desired behaviors such as collaboration, transparency, and respect, setting an example for others to follow in their own interactions. Lastly, commit to opportunities for continued discussion of the reform once it is implemented. Changes should not be a one-time event. After implementation, leaders need to keep the conversation going through follow-up meetings, feedback sessions, and reflection. This ensures that the change is sustained, any issues are addressed, and the community remains engaged.
Now let's talk about the steps in changing culture. So there are 5 steps in changing culture. First is to create a crisis of faith, to look with new eyes at the world around you and generate some tentative theory. So in the first step, the aim is to shake up the current way of thinking by questioning the organization's existing or established practices, beliefs, and assumptions. This process helps reveal weaknesses or outdated practices that may be holding back progress or that is no longer helpful in achieving the organization's goals. By challenging these assumptions, the organization opens itself to new perspectives like what could be different or things that needs to be improved, which can lead to innovative changes and provide opportunities for improvements. So the theories or the new perspectives that we have come up in this step are not final solutions but are a starting point for exploring potential challenges. The next step is to compare these lessons to those implicit in both your aspirations for the school and in your current behavior and activities. After identifying new perspectives or tentative theories in the previous step, this step involves aligning them with the school's goals and values. So this is where comparing what you want the school to become or your ideal future for the school and the current behaviors and activities happens. So this comparison helps to spotlight areas that should be preserved and enhanced, or to where the school may be falling short of its goals, as well as the areas where it is already strong and aligned with its aspirations. So this will help identify where gaps exist and recognize which elements of the culture is already aligned with the school's aspirations. So this step helps in creating clear visions of what needs to change. The third step is to create a consensus in terms of aspirations that not only addresses the gaps but also builds on the current strengths. In this step, the focus is on bringing everyone together to form a shared vision that aligns with the school's aspirations while addressing the gaps and enhancing existing strengths identified in the previous steps. Consensus means general agreement. So building a consensus means working collaboratively with all stakeholders, teachers, administrators, students, and even parents to agree on a common set of goals and values that define the school's cultural direction. Now, why is it important to include everyone in building consensus? It is to ensure that everyone feels part of the cultural shift, increasing the likelihood that changes will be embraced and sustained. Also, by addressing both gaps and strengths through consensus, this step ensures that the school's new direction is both realistic and ambitious. So this alignment of goals creates a cohesive culture where everyone understands the school's purpose and feels committed to its mission. Next step is to analyze the mode through which culture is communicated, formal and informal, conscious or unconscious, and adapt them with your new direction. This step focuses on examining the various ways that culture is expressed, shared, and reinforced within the school. So for example, for formal modes, these are the official structured methods of communications that are intentionally created to convey the school's values and expectations. Examples include policies, handbooks, mission statements, code of conduct, ceremonies, newsletters, and structured meetings. For the informal modes, this refers to the unplanned, often casual interactions and practices that influence cultures, including everyday conversations in the hallways, staff room discussions, or peer interactions among students. In this step, we analyze if these modes through which culture is communicated supports or conflicts with the new cultural direction. So it answers the questions: do the formal policies align with the new aspirations? Or do informal interactions reflect the values we want to emphasize? So by aligning all the modes of communication with the new vision, the school's culture can be more effectively shaped and sustained, with every element working together to support the intended transformation. So the final step is to create cultural capacity, a particular way of working in school which balances the need to create a strong shared identity with the need to constantly adapt and grow. This final step is about building the school's cultural capacity, or its ability to not only establish a cohesive identity but also to remain flexible and responsive to change. Cultural capacity is the resilience and adaptability of the school's culture, allowing it to grow with evolving challenges and needs while maintaining a clear, unified identity. So by creating cultural capacity, The school establishes a sustainable culture that is both strong and adaptable. This balance enables the school to uphold its core values, building a lasting identity, and grow with changing times, ensuring that it remains a dynamic and supportive environment for everyone involved.
Next is transforming school culture. There are 6 key strategies in developing collaborative school culture. First is strengthen the school culture. This strategy is very important since strengthening school's culture entails cultivating a positive and supportive environment that promotes academic excellence, social emotional growth, and community engagement. Number 2. Stimulate and reinforce cultural change through structured collaboration. So, by stimulating and reinforcing cultural change through structured collaborations, schools can drive cultural transformation, enhance student outcomes, and fosters positive relationship. Number 3. Foster staff development. This is very important since fostering staff development means helping teachers grow and improve. And by doing so, teachers can navigate a positive change benefiting students and the school. Number 4. Encourage direct and frequent communication about cultural norms, values, beliefs, resulting in shared vision. This strategy is very important for transforming school culture since encouraging an open dialogue, schools can build a cohesive community united by a shared vision and values. Number 5. Develop leaders at all levels. This means empowering every individual in the school community, from students to teachers and staff, to help them to become a good leader. Last one, empower staff, give autonomy. So this strategy means trusting teachers and staff to make decisions, take ownership, and innovate. So, by implementing these strategies, schools can create a supportive, inclusive, and innovative environment where everyone succeeds.
Good day, everyone. Today we will discuss the organizational climate of school. But first, let's define what is organizational climate of school. According to one of the most respected author on human resources, it is a set of measurable properties of the perceived work environment, directly or indirectly, created by individuals who live and work in this environment, and that influences the motivation and behavior of these people. So the organizational climate of a school refers to the shared perceptions and feelings of the school community about their work environment. It's like the overall atmosphere or vibe of the school, which can significantly impact how teachers, students, staff to behave and feel. Also, the organizational climate can influence motivation and behavior through positive and negative climate. The positive climate can foster a sense of belonging, while the negative climate can lead to decrease of motivation. So, school leaders can use surveys, interviews, and observations to assess the organizational climate. So we have here the two striking features of the organizational climate. First is that the organizational climate is a concept perceived by employees. So the organizational climate is perceived. So this perception is influenced by individual values and experiences. meaning that different people within the same organization may have different views on the organizational climate. The second one is that the organizational climate affects productivity, motivation, and employee behavior. So, in this definition, the organizational climate impacts behavior. It has a direct impact on employee behavior, affecting their productivity, motivation, and the overall performance.
Let's tackle about what are the main features and the definitions of the organizational climate. First, it is a perception of the work environment. So this talks about how people feel about their workplace. The second one is it is a psychological atmosphere. So this talks about the overall mood or feeling. For example, an open communication and collaboration is a positive atmosphere. The third one, it is a quick picture of the relationship between organization and its employees. So this describes the quality of interaction, just like strong engagement and open feedback. Number 4, it is a set of properties that can be measured by the correct instrument. So this talks about the quantifiable aspect. This talks about the high satisfaction score, low absenteeism, or a high productivity and such. Number 5, it is related to the quality and suitability of the work environment. So number 5 refers to the physical and resource aspects. For example, a well-equipped office. Number 6, it has to do with the support that employees feel they receive from the organization. So number 6 refers to the level of help and backing that employees feel they receive. For example, an employee who feels supported by his or her boss. Number 7, the organizational structure strongly influences the organizational climate. So the company structure impacts the climate. Most of the organizational structure is flat because it encourages collaboration. Number 8, the organizational climate is a reflection of the degree of employee motivation. So, number 8 talks about how climate reflects motivation levels. For example, high engagement and initiative encourage collaboration. Last, it has a positive and negative effect on people's behavior in the workplace. Meaning to say, the climate influences action. For example, a positive climate fosters collaboration and innovation. These are the 9 main features in the definitions of the organizational climate. The purpose of these main features is to make, develop, and learn for a productive and contributing life in a society, including norms, values, and expectations that supports people's feeling socially, emotionally, and physically safe.
Now let's dive into the key characteristics of the organizational climate and the types of organizational climate of school. So first, let's tackle the key characteristics of the organizational climate. So if you hear the word climate, what comes to your mind? Yes, so if you try to search the word climate, so it will give you a response which states that climate is a long-term weather condition that a specific region is experiencing. So, say for example, is a tropical climate. So, countries experiencing tropical climate, just like the Philippines, often experience warm and rainy season. Second, the Mediterranean climate. So, countries under the Mediterranean climate often experience dry and hot
seasons. So those are some examples of a climate. Now, we also have what we call organizational climate. So what are the key characteristics of an organizational climate? First, an organizational climate is concerned with large unit. It characterizes properties of an entire organization of major sub-units. So, from the word organizational, diba? So, the root word here is organization. So, the major concern of the organizational climate is the overall atmosphere or the overall um, mood of the organization. It's not individualistic in nature. It doesn't isolate major subunits independently, but rather it is cohesive in a sense. The organizational climate is concerned on the overall mood or atmosphere of the organization. So say for example, in a company, so diba, there are different departments in a company. So they have marketing department or advertising department, etc., etc. So organizational climate's concern here is the overall mood of the or atmosphere of the company, not those um major departments. So it's as I've said, it's not, isolating in nature. Second characteristic is that organizational climate arises from routine organizational practices that are important to the organization and its members. So this emphasizes the importance of routine organizational practices towards shaping the organizational climate. So, what are these routine organizational practices? So, this could be regular activities, rules, and perhaps principles imposed by the organization to its members. So, those things help shape the organizational climate. Third characteristic. So, organizational climate influences members' behaviors and attitudes. So, there are there is a positive and negative climate. So, for example, if you are a member of an organization where it emanates a positive climate, then of course you will feel, as a member you will feel motivated to do your tasks. Perhaps you will feel happy in terms of your relationship with your workmates, and then perhaps you can work efficiently since you are in a positive environment wherein you feel valued and you feel heard. So yes, that's the influence of the organizational climate to you as its member. So organizational climate is also existent in schools. Now, there are four types of organizational climate of school. The first one is open school climate. An open school climate is characterized by teacher relations that are professional, collegial, friendly, and committed to the education of students. Moreover, the principal is supportive and professional in nature. The principal is not restrictive or authoritative to his or her teachers. So if you try to analyze open school climate, it emanates a positive environment or climate that wherein the teachers and the principal have this symbiotic relationship with each other. So they are engaged, they are collaborative, they are open to creativity and other ideas that contribute to the education. So in that sense, open school climate is it's very friendly. It emanates a friendly environment where everyone is valued. They feel like they are valued enough and that their ideas and endeavors are accepted. Second is the closed school climate. So the closed school climate is characterized by teachers' relations that are disengaged, distant, suspicious, and unprofessional. Moreover, the principal is directive, restrictive, and unsupportive in nature. So closed school climate is just the direct opposite of open school climate. So unlike open school climate, closed school climate is very disengaged. It's isolating in a sense. It's not collaborative. Moreover, the principal is restrictive and authoritative. It's the principal here is not allowing or not accepting ideas or perhaps creativity from his or her teachers. So, overall, closed school climate emanates a negative climate.
In continuation of types of organizational climate of schools, first, healthy school climate characterized by institutional integrity. Teachers are protected from disruptive outside forces. This means that the school organization is well organized and strong, and it makes sure that teachers are not disturbed or distracted by outside problems or pressures. So teachers can do their jobs without outside interference. The next bullet, the principal has influence with supervisors, get needed resources, and has an integrated leadership style that is concerned with both the task at hand, the social well-being of teachers. In this statement, the principal can get what the school needs from higher authorities, and they lead in a way that focuses on both getting the job done and making sure teachers feel happy and supported. So the next slide, it discussed the unhealthy school climate. First, the vulnerable to disrupted outside forces. So, being at risk of being negatively affected by external problems or influences such as political pressure, societal changes, or other outside events that can interfere with normal functioning. The next one is principal has little influence with superiors, resources are scarce, and the principal neither sets direction nor is support teacher. This means the principal doesn't have much control over getting help or resources for the school and doesn't give clear guidance or support to the teacher. The last one, moral is poor and there is limited attention to academic matters because the teacher had given up. The last one statement, this means that the teacher are feeling discouraged and have lost motivation, so they are not focusing on students' learning or schoolwork.